The Ultra phone with no limits is finally here. This phone has got my dream smartphone design with the cleanest display you'll find on any phone on the market right now, thanks to the 7th generation under-display camera, untouchable battery performance thanks to a massive 6600 mAh cell, a one-of-a-kind 35mm low-light beast of a camera, IP68 and IP69 water and dust resistance rating, all powered by Snapdragon 8 Elite. Is this the Ultra phone you've been waiting for? Well, I've been using the new Nubia Z70S Ultra for the past 2 weeks. Here is my experience. Let's begin with the unboxing. The design of the box looks pretty interesting, like I'm unboxing a retro camera. On the inside, we have some paperwork along with a red USB-C cable, which looks pretty sick. A high quality protective case, unlike some of those plastic ones that we see with other phones. And then finally, the star of the show, Nubia Z70S Ultra. Right off the bat, I gotta say, what is going on with this design? This is like a proper retro camera look that actually stands out. Like when I was testing the camera of this phone around Athens, I got asked a few times about what phone I was using because of how unique it looks. So the main sensor sits on the top along with the other sensors down below. It's using a combination of glass and kind of a frosted leather look with black and red color accents. It's a proper boxy design, kind of like a Note Ultra phone, which I like. Plus it's got pretty much all the buttons you can imagine for a phone to have. So on top of having the volume buttons and the power button, we have a special slider switch that we can use to launch cameras or even other actions, along with a dedicated camera key to take photos and videos. Now, since this is an IP69 rated phone, I wanted to test out if it can survive a super high temperature like boiling water. Of course, don't try this at home, but just to show you guys for an experiment, it actually worked just fine. Now up front is where we got even more excitement because this is rocking a limitless display. It's a 6.85-inch AMOLED display with 144Hz refresh rate and 2000 nits of brightness, giving you the most uninterrupted immersive experience on any phone right now. Even when I'm playing games, not having a punch hole or a notch just makes it look so much cleaner. It's using the 2nd generation of Longshi glass, which has improved the drop resistance by about 2 times. It's also a great display for your eyes thanks to 2592 Hz ultra high PWM dimming number. Not gonna lie, I got spoiled a bit because it looks so clean, especially when you compare it to something like iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now this is only possible thanks to the 7th gen 16 megapixel camera that sits under the display. And well, the main question is, how much is it improved compared to the previous generation? Well, when it comes to the photos, this 16 megapixel under display camera can output pretty decent selfies in most lighting situations. As someone who has used the older generation of UTCs, I gotta say, the pictures are definitely better than I expected. It's like they're getting very close to a traditional front camera quality. The video performance, however, is still not quite ideal like a traditional front camera. While I think it's more than enough for, let's say, video calls, it's still far from a normal front camera, and that was kind of expected because, again, this is an under-display camera after all. Just know with the immersive screen comes a bit of a sacrifice. But let's not forget, you do have those back cameras on the back that you can kind of use for your front camera video experience by just turning the phone around in the cases you do need high quality video. It's using a 50 megapixel 5th gen 35mm lens as its main sensor, which is different compared to other phones that use a 23mm lens. So with this, you get a little bit more cropped cinematic look of a 35mm lens. Honestly, this sensor takes some really good photos in pretty much all kinds of lighting situations. Apart from the photos, it's got pretty solid video performance as well, especially in low light situation. You can shoot 4K videos up to 120 frames per second as well as 8K videos at 30 frames per second. Now we also have a 64 megapixel periscope telephoto camera sensor that is equivalent to a 3x optical zoom sensor. You could obviously extend this all the way to 10x, 30x, and even 50 times. This periscope lens also doubles as a tele macro lens, so you can actually get some real close-up shots of objects. Overall, it's a pretty decent periscope setup that can get you some real zoomed-in shots in a lot of good situations. Now, it's got the widest ultra-wide-angle lens that I've used on any phone, so coming at 0.4x, 50 megapixel. It generally gets really wide to give you that proper ultra-wide angle experience. Overall, I gotta say the 35mm focal length is quite interesting to use on a flagship phone. This lens is just wide enough to take good shots, but then also close enough to take those nice bokeh-filled portrait images. As ultra-wide-angle lenses are getting better to give us that ultra-wide view, I think moving the main camera to 35mm focal length might actually be a pretty good move. Now, when it comes to camera app, I feel like they can update this to have a more of a cleaner look, but yeah, when it comes to features, it definitely has quite a lot of them. Speaking of performance, it is rocking the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite chip for the absolute best performance, along with the most insane battery life you'll find on a phone, thanks to a 6600 milliamp hour cell and 80 watt of fast charging. With Snapdragon 8 Elite and 12 gigs of RAM, you can pretty much run anything on this phone without breaking a sweat, like literally anything. You can run the most demanding games at the absolute ultra settings, and it looks so good because of that limitless display. And let's not forget, it is a Nubia phone after all, so they've got some really cool gaming features built in. Like, this is the kind of stuff that spoils me because I know I'm not really gonna find this on the iPhone or on the latest Samsung flagship. Now, what about the software? Well, it's rocking a very clean UI experience with almost no bloatware. They call their skin Nebula OS, built on top of Android 15. Like I said, it's a very clean, simple UI with some useful features like smart sidebar that allows you to open any app instantly. You've got a range of customization for your apps, wallpapers, and icons, including lock screen customization with clean shortcuts. For AI features, you get call translation as well as live translation, which works really well in real time. It uses Google Photos for its default gallery app, so you get some powerful AI features from there, like the Magic Editor. Overall, nothing too crazy when it comes to AI features. They definitely have a decent package right now with more to come in the future. So all in all, what's my final thoughts on having the Limitless phone back in my hand in 2025? The Nubia Z70S Ultra. I gotta say, if you're looking for the most immersive display, the most uninterrupted immersive viewing experience on a smartphone, then nothing beats this. Plus, it's a beast of a phone thanks to its massive battery as well as Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, solid back camera performance. Of course, there's a bit of a sacrifice when you consider the under-display camera video, but then again, this is an under-display camera, so you have to take that into consideration. What's also important to take in consideration is the price. It's definitely not going to be as expensive as some of the other kidney flagship phones out there. So at the moment, I don't have the official pricing information. I will update that in the pinned comment/description. But there we have it. That's my experience with the Nubia Z70S Ultra. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, subscribe if you're new here. With that being said, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.